So, hello students, good morning each and every one of you. Welcome to Vedantu NEET English students. Quickly let me know in the chat right now if I'm audible, and quickly let me know in the chat if I'm visible to each and every one of you. If I'm audible and visible. And if I am, quickly some fire emoji in the chat to confirm it. Okay. Now students, today is going to be the one short lecture on the morphology of flowering plants, where we'll be doing the concept plus pre-COVID pattern of questions. Everything is going to happen in one go. I will be using my notes which have been previously used in the sessions of your RNA or line by line for you to get the entire information. Okay. Now before we start further, some of you might be asking me, sir, should I study? Some of you might be asking me, should I study old NCERT or new NCERT? Some of you might be asking, sir, you're still wondering, sir, morphology from old NCERT, should I study or new NCERT? Students, here is the right answer. You need to follow both actually. You will ask me, why, sir, why both? All of you see the syllabus. If you see the syllabus for this chapter, if you see here morphology and modifications, it says morphology and modifications right here. And this modification right here, it is not available in your new NCERT. So tell me students, from where do you have to study this? If modification is not available here, you need to study the modifications from the old NCERT. So modification from the old NCERT, the remaining part that is root, stem, leaf, inflorescence, cymose, racemose, flower, fruit and seed. All of these topics you need to study from the new NCERT. So please be careful when you're reading for this chapter, because in examination, if you get a question from your modification, you'll be like, ayo sir, from where did it even come from? You start wondering to yourself where the question came from. So please know the syllabus before starting this chapter or revising this chapter one more time. Okay. Now, with that being aside, students, if you download today's notes, you will be getting this entire mind map in the notes. Okay. So you can use this entire mind map to point out or revise the entire chapter. Now, if that is out of the way, now can I ask all of you a very simple question? Very simple question. Students, all of you, is the board visible? Students, is the board visible to all of you? Is this board visible? Okay. Now if this is visible to all of you, quickly tell me in the chat, students. Pratibha, Ravindrani, Himanshi, Meghana, Ankita, tell me all of you, right? This particular diagram, in this plant, which is the vegetative parts, which is the reproductive parts? That is a question to all of you. Okay. Now, for example, you need to tell me in this diagram, which is the vegetative parts and which are the reproductive parts, reproductive as well as vegetative. Now, for example, here, can I tell stem right here is part of vegetative? Okay, I'll write stem here, stem. Now, what about leaves? Leaves also are a part here, leaves. Now, what about branches? Okay, branches are also a part. Branches. What about the entire root system? Is the root system also a part here? Yes, sir. Roots are also a part of your entire vegetative. So, these are the vegetative parts of a plant. Then what could be the reproductive parts? Anyone in the chat who can tell me what are the reproductive parts here? Very simple. All of you know. The first one is the flower. Then fruit is part of your reproduction. Seed is part of the reproductive parts. So this is called as the vegetative parts, reproductive part. Now one by one, we'll be talking about the roots, stem and leaves, along with the different types of modifications we get here. Okay. Now students, quickly tell me in the chat, which of these following parts is responsible for absorption of water, nutrients? Quickly tell me in the chat, which of these following parts is responsible for absorption of nutrients? Anyone? Absorption of nutrients? Obviously, it is going to be the roots. It's going to be the roots. Now, here I have the information given for all of you. I will read for all of you, right? I'll read all of you. All you need to do is tell me, sir, yes, I understood. the concept is clear to me. Okay. Now, first of all, the entire root develops from radical. Done. See, students, if you know the answer, if you understand the line, I want to see fire emoji in the chat constantly now. If you're able to understand the line, constant fire emoji in the chat, and I will know, yes sir, you're understanding. Clear. Now, root system develops from the radical. Yes. If this is a seed, here we have plumule, here we have radical. From this radical right here, the entire root system develops. Point number one, clear. Okay. It is a underground. Yes, it is completely underground. It is non-green. Obviously, a root system does not require photosynthetic pigment like chlorophyll because it does not do photosynthesis. Okay, done. It is positively geotropic. Positively geotropic means what? It means that it will grow towards the gravity roots. Can I also call them negatively phototropic? Yes. Why? Because they are growing away from the sunlight. Negatively phototropic in nature. Clear? Okay. Nodes and internodes are absent. The most important line here. So in the case of roots, nodes and internodes are going to be absent. Now, if that is out of the way, what about in the case of root? What is the main function? The main function of root is absorption of nutrients and water, and also the main function of roots is anchorage. And there is also one more line. Some of the roots are responsible for hormone production, auxin and gibberellins. Okay. Now, modification. Now we come to modification. Okay. All of you listen to me. Okay. Yes, today also there will be a lot of questions. There are more than 50 to 60 questions today. Okay. Types of roots. Now, what is a taproot? Understand, all of you, what is a taproot? Which develops directly from radical. If this is a seed, if this is a radical, from this radical, if the root is developing directly, that is called as a taproot. Okay, that is point is clear. Now, what is a fibrous root? Understand all of you. Here, in the case of fibrous roots, right, there is a taproot. But the taproot here is very short-lived. And eventually, the taproot is replaced by a bunch of roots. Listen to me very carefully. Even in the case of monocots, they have the taproot. But the taproot in the case of monocots is replaced by a bunch of roots, and that bunch of root is called as fibrous root. The main question is, where do they arise from? If this is the entire stem, this is called as the base of stem. This is called as what? Base of stem. Roots which arise from the base of the stem is called as your fibrous root. Is that point clear to all of you? Clear. Now, what about adventitious roots? Very simple again. See this. Roots which arise from any part of the plant. Roots which arise from any part of the plant other than the radical, it is called as adventitious roots. If a root is arising from the leaf, adventitious roots. Leaf is arising from a stem, adventitious roots. Now all of you think logically. And tell me the answer. If any root is developing from any other part other than the radical, adventitious roots. Students, tell me in the chat right now, in fibrous root, is the roots arising from radical? Tell me yes or no. Students, tell me yes or no now. In fibrous root, is the roots arising from the radical? You're like, no sir, not radical. So can I call the fibrous root, it is a type of adventitious roots? Can I tell that? Students? Fibrous root is a type of adventitious roots. So that is the basic understanding which you need to have for your root. Now, taproot mainly found in the case of your dicots. Here we can see there is something called as this long elongated is called as the primary root. From here we can see some lateral roots arising. They are the secondary roots. Now from this lateral roots, one more branching can happen. that is called as a tertiary root. So primary, secondary, tertiary. If the concept is clear, fire emoji in the chat, all of you, quickly. This is called as your fibrous root in the case of monocots. I told you, in the case of monocots, there will be always a taproot, but it is very short-lived. It is very short-lived. It is replaced by fibrous root in the case of monocot. In the case of monocot, fibrous root is there. Okay. Now, this is adventitious roots. Can you see adventitious roots? Any roots arising from parts other than the radical. Monster is example. Now we learn something called as the regions of the root. If a root is there, there are multiple regions there, multiple regions. For example, students, can you see, all of you, this thimble-like structure here, thimble-like structure is called as root cap. Thimble-like structure called as root cap. Now you might ask me, sir, what is the main function of root cap? Now, all of you, if you go on bike, you'll wear helmet. Why? Helmet is for protection. When you go in the bike or scooty or whatever, you wear helmet. Helmet is for protection. Similarly, here also, when the root is developing, when the root is growing, this root cap is mainly for protection. Protecting the what? Root apical meristem. So the next region here is called as region of meristematic activity. In this region of meristematic activity, there is something called as RAM or region of meristematic activity, root apical meristem. Root apical meristem. Now, all of you listen to me very, very carefully for an important concept right now. For example, this is the soil. This is the soil here. Yes, soil here. Here I have the entire stem coming out. Stem is here. This is the stem. Now, with reference to stem and the soil, the region closer to the soil is called as the proximal end, and the region which is away from the soil is called as a distal end. Distal end. So distal, proximal. Now, let me ask you one small question right now. One small question. Okay, one small question. See this. For this root cap, students, for this root cap, what could be the proximal end? Proximal end for this root cap is region of meristematic activity. Now again, to this region of meristematic activity, which is the proximal end? Proximal end is going to be region of elongation. Now, to this region of elongation, which is the proximal end? Region of maturation. Again, to this region of elongation, which is the distal end? Distal end is going to be region of meristematic activity. Last question to all of you. Region of maturation. Tell me which is the distal end here. The distal end to the region of maturation is region of elongation is the distal end. So if you understood the concept of distal and proximal, fire emoji in the chat again. Very simple concept. Very simple concept. Okay. So see here, RAM, few millimeters above the root cap. Above the root cap here. Here main cell division happens. Thin wall cells, dense cytoplasm, because these are the dividing cells. Dividing cells. Okay. Now students, tell me in the chat quickly, in this region of meristematic activity, do you think we will have something called as a primary cell wall, or do you think we will have secondary cell wall? Quickly in the chat. Since these are dividing cells, these are new cells, here we will have something called as the primary cell wall. Here we will have the primary cell wall. Clear? Now students, region of elongation, proximal side of RAM. This is RAM. Here, proximal side. All of you understanding now? All of you understanding? See this. This is the region of meristematic activity. What is proximal to this? Proximal means above, right? Region of elongation. Here, cell elongation and enlargement happens, and this is the region responsible for the growth of the root length. You will see long roots, right? Long roots. The main reason for the long roots is region of elongation. Now students, tell me in the chat, which is the proximal end to region of elongation? Proximal end is above. Proximal end is above. Region of maturation. So proximal side to region of elongation. Cells here are mature and differentiated. On the periphery or the epidermis, can you see here? This is the region of maturation. On the epidermis, The meaning of epidermis is the outermost layer. On this outermost layer right here, outermost layer, we can see fine hair-like structure called as your root hair. Root hair. Root hair can be observed here. Root hair can be observed here. Okay. Now all of this root hair is exogenous in origin, not endogenous. Exogenous. Okay. Now we come to the entire modification of root. Modification of root. Now there are three main modifications here. The first main modification is for the storage. That is, our roots can store things. Obviously, roots can store things. Now see, all of you say this. In the case of storage, we have two categories. For taproot storage, adventitious root storage. In taproot storage, we have turnip and carrot. Examples, very important, very important. For sweet potato is an example of adventitious roots. So storage, adventitious roots, sweet potato. Now students, can all of you tell me, do you think potato is also root? Do you think potatoes is also root? Tell me yes or no. Potato is also root? False. Potato is a stem modification. Potato is stem modification. So go to your house today. If you're in the house, go to your kitchen. Tell your mother, mummy, potato is a stem, and run away from there. Because if she doesn't agree, she'll hit you. Okay. So tell your mum that potato is a stem, not a root, and run away back. Okay, run back. Okay. Now this you understood. Storage you understood, right? Now for support also, roots can help in support. For example, there is something called as prop roots and stilt roots. Understand the difference is there. Okay. Prop roots is found in the banyan tree. See, if this is the banyan tree, how many of you seen this, students? How many of you seen a banyan tree? If this is a banyan tree, from the top of banyan tree, have you seen this roots coming out? You can go on like on Tarzan, you can become Tarzan. Okay, this is called as your prop roots. Prop roots. Okay, prop roots are seen here. Okay, Tarzan. Okay. Now there is that, those are called as prop roots. Now what are stilt roots? Now if you can see, students, in the case of sugarcane and maize, from the base of stem, can you see this is base of stem, our roots can arise like this. This is called as stilt roots. So prop roots, stilt roots. All of you understood the difference? Difference understood? Prop roots, stilt roots. Okay. Now last one is for gaseous exchange. Gas exchange. Okay. Now here there is a special type of what do I say? Roots here, which is a little scary. Why? Because how many of you seen these horror movies? From the graveyard, all the dead bodies will come up. How many of you seen that? How many of you seen that from? It's very scary for me. Okay. So there is a graveyard, and all the dead bodies are coming out of graveyard like that. Imagine. Now same condition with the root. Now same condition, students, same condition with the roots. Okay, I forgot to add an image. Okay, this is the NCERT image. Can you see? From the soil, all the roots are coming out now like ghost. Can you see? All the roots are coming out. Ooh, it's coming out. Now these are negatively geotropic. They are going against gravity. They are positively phototropic. They are growing towards the light. Now you might ask me, sir, why are they coming out of the soil? Is soil not good enough? Huh? Yes, it is not good enough. Okay, why? Because in certain marshy areas or certain soil where there is a lot of salt in it, okay, roots will come out of the soil for the oxygen. Not for your life, they'll come for the oxygen here. Okay, they'll come out for the oxygen. Okay, can you see here? From the roots they are coming out. They are in swampy areas, marshy areas, halophytes. 3 examples you need to remember. Okay, they need oxygen, like they're demanding of oxygen here. Okay, they are called as new metaphors. They are called as new metaphors. They are found in rhizophora. They are called as new metaphors. Is the type of your roots. They are found in rhizophora. Clear, students? Clear? Tell me, students, how is the revision on point? How is the revision on point? Concept is getting cleared so fast. Yes. See, Asparagus is an example of your, again, storage type. Okay. Carrot, turnip, sweet potato, storage, new metaphor. Okay. That is respiration. Okay. See here, with storage, here carrot, radish or turnip. Here adventitious root, then we have respiration, new metaphors. Both are type of taproot. In adventitious roots we have storage, we have sweet potato, asparagus. Support we have prop roots, stilt roots. Both of these are type of adventitious roots. Okay, adventitious roots. Okay. Now students, a question in front of you. Let's see who can answer this question first. Yes, we need to Kavita. Yes, we need to study from the old NCERT all of these topics because it is given in your syllabus. You cannot ignore them as such. Okay. Tell the answer quickly. Who tells the answer first? New metaphors occur in halophytes, free floating, hydrophytes, carnivorous plant, submerged, halophyte. What is the answer? Option number 1, halophytes, because they need oxygen. They're coming for oxygen. Look at this question, students. This is a question from NEET 2018 question. Sweet potato is a modification. Very cute question, no? Very cute question. This is sweet potato is a modification of stem. Obviously, it is not stem. It is not rhizome. You will get confused between taproot and adventitious root. But if you're my student, you'll say taproot is gone, adventitious for the win. Okay. There is something called as old NCERT, new NCERT, students. Old NCERT, new NCERT, you might know. Okay. Adventitious roots. Okay. Now look at this question. Okay. Plants which produce characteristic new metaphors and show vivipary. What is vivipary? And belong to. This is a 2016 question. Okay. See, all of you know the answer. It is halophytes. Answer is halophyte. Okay. But what is the meaning of vivipary? Any one of you hearing for the first time? How many of you hearing the word vivipary for the very first time? Raise your hands. What is this vivipary in the case of plants? Let me tell you, students, let me teach you something new today. Okay. Vivipary is a condition in the plants where the seed, germinating seed, is still attached to the plant. It's like, Mama, I will never let go of you. It is like, Mama, I will never let go of you. Even the growing, germinating seed is still attached to the parent plant. It is like, when you remember this budding in yeast and budding in hydra. Similarly, the germinating seed is still attached to the parent plant. Never let them go. Okay. Nice. Okay. Now students, here they can ask you one question. Okay. If you're my student, you should be able to answer this very simple. Do you think every single plant out there has root cap? Tell me true or false. Do you think every plant has root cap? Every plant has root cap, you tell me. Tell me yes or no. You're like, no sir. There are certain exceptions where the root cap is absent. Let me tell you. In the case of aquatic plants, there is no root cap. In the case of parasitic plants, there is no root cap. In the case of epiphytic plants, there is no root cap. Why? Because in those plants, in epiphytic plants, aquatic plants, parasitic plants, the roots do not have to penetrate into the soil. So if their roots are not going into the soil, there is no requirement for the root cap. Clear, students? Clear? Clear, students, all of you? Okay. Let's see who answered this question first. I want to see fastest finger first now. Root hair develop from the region of. All of you. All of you drink some water. Water is very important. Keep yourself hydrated. I think it was Tanuja who answered first. Old NCERT means old NCERT. There was old NCERT, there is new NCERT. Okay. It is region of maturation. Okay. So with that, students, in a mere 30 minutes, your entire route is over. How was it? Tell me, students, did all of you able to answer the questions? All of you are able to understand what is a root, what is a function of root, and what is a modification of root in 30 minutes, 20 minutes? Yes. Now we'll go to something called as your shoot, entire shoot now. Okay. Now students, first thing first students, for all of you, in the case of shoot, students quickly tell me in the chat right now, does this develop from plumule or radicle? Plumule or radicle? Develops from the plumule. Develops from the plumule. Okay. The next question to all of you students, the shoot, right? In the case of shoot, do you think it has chlorophyll? Yes, sir. Chlorophyll is present, or the pigments are present here. Mainly the pigments are present here. Chlorophyll is present here. It is present here. What is the color? It is initially green when it is young. Later on it becomes a little brown also in color. Brown also in color. Main function is what? Conduction. Conduction of water and nutrients, as well as the nutrients can be conducted here. Now students, tell me students in the chat quickly, are they growing towards the sunlight or away from the sunlight? They are going towards the sunlight. So can I call them positively phototropic in nature? Yes, positively phototropic in nature. Phototropic in nature. Okay. Yes. Okay. Green. Huh? Yes. Green. Okay. Now students. Now in this stem, I want all of you to understand one small concept here. One small concept I will teach you. Please learn this concept if you want to get a better understanding of this chapter. Okay. Now, for example, this is a stem right here. This is a stem right here. Let's say this is a stem. Now, on top of this stem, there will be certain lines like this. Lines. You might have seen any stem you take, mostly dicots, any stem you take students, you will see these small lines like this on a stem. You might have seen this on sugarcane. How many of you seen that? On top of sugarcane we see that sugarcane. These lines right here is nothing but called as nodes. Nodes. The gap between two nodes, this gap between one node and second node, it is called as internode. Internode. This is a node, this is an internode. Now you might ask me, sir, what is so special about node? What is so special about nodal region? Because students, this is the nodal region where the leaf will arise from. Leaf will arise from. So from this nodal region right here, we can see the development of leaf or leaves in many cases. Can you see? Leaf is developing from the nodal region. Everywhere. From this node, everywhere they can arise. Leaves can arise from the nodal region. Now, all of you listen to me very carefully now. In this nodal region, this region right here, it is called as leaf axil. Okay, leaf axil. In this leaf axil, students, there are some cells are left behind when the shoot apical meristem is growing. When the shoot apical meristem is growing, some cells are left behind here. In this region right here. In this region right here, some cells are left behind. This ends up making something called as the, here we have the axillary bud. Now what is so special about the axillary bud? This is the axillary bud which can eventually develop into a branch. Yes, it can. It can develop into a branch. It can develop into a branch or flower. So stem, nodes and internodes. Leaf is developing at a node. There is axillary bud in the leaf axil. Axillary bud is developing into a branch. Now students, this is an axillary bud. If this is an axillary bud right here, on top of it also we will have bud here also. Can anyone tell me what is this bud called as? This bud here is called as apical bud. It is called as apical bud. But I am telling you so many bud this, bud that. What is the meaning of bud actually? The meaning of bud is, it is a compact condensed leaf or compact condensed shoot. So what is a bud, students? Bud is nothing but compact young shoot. This is a compact young shoot which has immature leaf primordia, which can open up eventually. Okay, so compact young shoot is called as a bud. There are two main types of bud, which I already told you. Two main types of bud. Can anyone tell me which are those? First one is called as your apical bud, which is present at the top. The second one is called as the axillary bud, which is present at the leaf axil. How many of you understood the concept? Tell me honestly now. Tell me honestly, how many of you understood the concept of bud, compact young shoot, two types, apical bud and axillary bud? Do not lie to me. Tell me that, honestly tell me. How many of you understood? I need only honest answers. No drama in my class. Tell me honestly, how many of you understood the concept of a bud? If you understood, fire emoji in the chat, I will know. Fire emoji in the chat, I will know if you understood. What is a bud? Okay. So there is compact young shoot, apical bud, axillary bud. Okay. If you're able to understand these concepts, I want everyone to quickly smash your like button, because I'm going to make botany so easy for you. You will tell all your friends that, sir, I have told everyone, botany is the easiest subject in my entire NEET preparation. Forget chemistry, forget physics, forget zoology, right? Botany is going to be the most interesting and the easiest subject on the planet Earth for you. Okay. Who's that? I am asking you, where is this question from? Where am I from? I am from Bangalore. Okay, students. Now we come to something called a stem modification. Ready, all of you? Ready, students? Stem modification here. In stem modification, students, there are mainly three types of stem modification. Mainly three types. Okay. Mainly three types of stem modification. Okay. Three types. The first one is called as underground stem. Mafia. Underground stem. Underground stem. First one. Second one is called as subaerial. And the third one is called as aerial. Three different types of stem. And I'm very sure some of you will be like, sir, it's very difficult to remember this, difficult to understand this. Let me make it easy for you. Okay. Now, first of all, we'll go with underground. Ready, all of you? Ready? All of you, ready for the underground stem? Okay. Ready for underground stem. Now, here are the 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 different types of underground stem, which will make you to understand very easily. The first one is called as a rhizome. Now, I'll give you a image in your mind. Try to imagine that image and then you read the lines. Okay. I want everyone to close your eyes and try to visualize a ginger. Ginger. All of you know ginger? Huh? All of you know ginger? No. So I want everyone to close your eyes and try to visualize a ginger. And once you visualize that, right, go tell your mother that ginger is a stem, not a root. Go tell your mother that ginger, which you use in the tea in early morning, ginger is a stem, not a root. Not a root. Okay. So you will be rocking. Mom will be shocking today. Okay. See this now. I want everyone to visualize ginger is underground. It is underground. Is it horizontal, students? Is it horizontal? Yes, sir, it is horizontal. Yes, sir, it is horizontal. Now, students, if you have seen ginger, all of you, if you have seen ginger, students, have you noticed these lines on ginger? How many of you noticed ginger? There are these cross lines on the ginger, right? How many of you seen that? Like, on the small lines on the ginger you might have seen. Those lines are what? If ginger is a stem, do you think stem has node and internode? Students, tell me in the chat. Do you think a stem has node and internode? Yes, it does. So this lines right here, students, lines on the ginger are nothing but the nodes. Nodes. Is everything connecting now? Is everything connecting to you now? We learned that stem has a node and internode. Ginger is a stem, horizontal stem, underground stem, and it has node and internode. Node and internode. Now, from this nodal regions, do you find leaves? Yes, sir. Have you noticed, students, in your house, if you keep the ginger for a very long time, can you see the leaves coming out from there? Have you noticed it? All of you, try to recollect your kitchen scenario in your house. From the ginger, if you don't keep it in fridge, there is a very high chance that from the nodal regions we can see the development of leaf. Leaf can be developed. Yes. Okay. Now students, from this ginger right here, I can see roots coming out. Roots are coming out. Roots are coming out. What do you call the roots which are arising from any other part other than the radical? What do you call that? In the chat, I will connect everything for you. I will connect the entire chapter for you today. What do you call the roots which are arising from any other part other than the radical? Adventitious roots. So can you see here? These are called as the adventitious roots from the ginger. So ginger is a stem, underground horizontal stem which has nodes and internodes. It has a leaf arising. It has adventitious roots. Beautiful, right? Tell me, beautiful? Yes? You have planted ginger in the soil. Very good then. Very good then. Keep planting ginger. Ginger is nice. We can use it in biryani. Nice ginger garlic paste we can make. Okay. So first one is done. There are other examples here. Turmeric and banana. Friends, banana. The banana plant which you see, the stem is a rhizome. What is this? Okay, students, pardon my dog. He's a little quirky today. How is banana a rhizome? How is that possible? Confused? How many of you confused? Tell me, students. How many of you confused that why have I written banana for rhizome? But you might have seen banana plant. When you see banana plant, students, have you seen the stem outside? How many of you seen the banana stem? Like the green color thing you see on the outside? Is that really the stem now? Is that really the stem? How is it possible? Nice concept, students. Today you will learn one more new concept. Students, today I'll teach you the true essence of botany, that what you see is not real. What you see is not real. Let me explain why. If you see your banana plant, if you see your entire banana plant, right? What do you see here, students? What do you see here? This one. This is the apparent trunk. This trunk right here is called as fake trunk. Also called as your pseudo trunk. It is the pseudo trunk. It is a false trunk. It is just a false trunk. The actual stem, do you see here? It is the underground stem. So in the case of banana, there is a underground stem here which you do not see. Or that is why. How many of you seen how they harvest bananas? How many of you seen that? They usually don't go and pluck the banana or the entire thing. What do? They cut the entire banana plant. How many of you noticed that? In any videos, in any news you might have seen, right? No one goes on plucking the bananas. What do? They cut the stem directly. Why? Because they know the real stem is underground here, and even if you cut it like this entire plant will grow. Again and again. How many of you understood the concept today? How many of you understood this beautiful concept of underground stem, rhizome in the case of banana? How many of you understood? So that's why they don't harvest it. That's why they don't, go on plucking the own banana. They cut the stem directly. Crazy concept, no? This is the beauty of botany. Okay. Now let me tell you, students, apart from the underground stem, here they will also have sucker. When we come to sucker, I'll teach you. Okay. Friends, you can go teach this concept to your friends, go tell it to your mother, go tell it to your father also. They will be surprised at how do you know this? Because this is the pure botany which no one teaches you from books. This all comes from the experience. Okay. Now, next one is called as corm. Corm also is underground, but it is, here we have horizontal, but here we have vertical stem. So here what happens is, there is a vertical underground stem which is very short and condensed. Example is 𝐂𝐡𝐞𝐤 and 𝐸𝐴𝐻. Now, how many of you seen 𝐂𝐡𝐞𝐤 plant? Raise your hands. How many of you seen 𝐂𝐤? Students, quickly smash the like button. The target is 200 for today. The target is 200. Quickly smash the like button right now. How many of you seen 𝐂𝐤 plant? If you're not seen, let me show you. How many of you seen this plant right here? This right here is called as 𝐂𝐤. And if you see this is not the actual stem. This is not the actual stem. The actual stem of 𝐂𝐤 is underground. It is underground and it is in the form of a corm. That is 𝐂𝐤 right here. Okay. This is the actual underground stem. Can you see here? Nodes and internodes on a stem. Nodes and internodes on a stem. Okay. There is also adventitious roots here. Adventitious roots. Okay. Next one is called as tuber. Tuber, all of you know this famous example. Okay. The famous example of tuber is your potato. Okay. Potato is a tuber. Underground stem. See here. This is the entire plant of potato. This is the upper part is the not the main. This is actually a type of stem here, but the main stem is underground. Now here in the case of tuber, the ends are potato. Now on potato, students, you can see a small bud. I told you what is a bud. Bud is a compact shoot. Here the bud is also called as eyes. How many of you heard about it? Here buds are called as eyes. You might have seen on a potato. There will be small white color structures. Those are buds, and each bud can grow it into a plant. It can grow into a completely new plant. Okay, so all of you seen this. All of you have seen this in your house. It's just that you're not connecting the dots here. So this here is a tuber. Okay, eyes. Okay. No, students. Last one is called as your underground stem in your bulb. Bulb is found in the case of onion. Now you might ask me, sir, where is the stem here? See students, if you have ever tried to cut an onion, you might have seen when you're trying to cut an onion before crying so much. Okay. Have you seen this white color part on the onion? How many of you seen this white color part on the onion, like this white color part on the onion tip? Here where the roots are coming out here. Here is this white color part on the onion which you cut and throw, right? That part is the stem actually, which you cut and throw. That is the that is the stem here. That is the stem here. Clear, students? Clear? You might have seen this. All of you might have seen this. That is the bulb example. Okay, bulb example. So that is the entire underground stem modification done. Now we go to the subaerial modification. In subaerial modification, we have runner, stolon, offset, and sucker. 4 different types. Okay. Now what about runner? Understand. In the case of runner, here we will have something called as a lateral branch. Can you see this? Here we will have something called as a complete lateral branch. Now, on the branch, do we have nodes and internode? Yes, sir, we have nodes. See here. Every single place where there is a node. On the every single nodal region, we can see development of adventitious roots on the nodal region. And also at the nodal region, we can see development of shoot also. Example is strawberry oxalis grasses. That is runner. It will keep on running like this, Now, what about offset? So what about stolon? In the case of stolon also, we have a horizontal stem. But here in the case of stolon, the shoot will grow and the shoot will go underground again. The shoot will grow again up. So here we can see a sine wave. Students, is it sine or cos? Is it sine wave or cos wave? I don't remember. Okay. It is a wave-like structure or arch can be seen here in the case of stolon. Shoot is arising at a node, going down, going up, going down. Here, this is the nodal region where we can see roots development. Example is mint and jasmine. Okay. Now, what is offset? Okay, students. Let me tell you, students. Offset. I have one in the house. I have a plant in my house which is called as pistia. Some of you might have heard about it, where I can see the offset very clearly. I will try to send a picture in Telegram today. Here is my Telegram. Today I will try to send you a picture in my Telegram today. Okay, that is of offset. Now what exactly happens in the case of offset? Understand students. This is your runner, sucker, stolon and offset. In the case of offset students, this is the lateral branch, okay. Here can you see, this part is the nodal region. From the nodal region we can see the leaves arising and roots arising, again roots arising. But here in the case of offset, what is happening? There is a complete rosette of leaf. Can you see? This is called as rosette of leaves and a tuft of roots. Okay. Now here, this is the most invasive and rapid multiplication method. You might have heard about something called as water hyacinth. Water hyacinth, the terror of Bengal. Why? Because this terror of Bengal used to multiply by this method. Okay, that is offset. That is eichhornia offset. Here we have a rosette of leaves and tuft of roots. Now what about sucker? Sucker, students, understand sucker. Here what happens is, if this is the aerial part, here we have roots. Can you see here? There is a obliquely lateral root arising here underground, and then it is growing up. Okay. For example, this is the soil. This is the shoot here. Here we have the root here. Roots arising. Now what happens is, one of the root will grow laterally, obliquely upwards, and then it will grow into a entire shoot. This is called as your entire sucker. So obliquely upward root is growing, then it will grow completely up. That is called as sucker. Example is chrysanthemum, banana and pineapple. Okay, banana and pineapple. Now students, let me give you a quick revision. Here we learned about, forget aerial. Before we go to aerial, we learned about rhizome, tuber, corm, bulb. Here we learned about runner, stolon, offset, sucker. If these points are clear to all of you, quickly some fire emoji in the chat, all of you. If this is clear to all of you, quickly in the chat. Clear students? Clear all of you? Yes, kind of budding only. Clear all of you? Yes. Now, if these are clear too, I'll make you aerial even more amazing. Because aerial, let me tell you students, aerial, no, there is superpowers. Because there is something called as phylloclad. How many of you heard about it? Phylloclad. How many of you heard about phylloclad? Students, please tell me in the chat. How many of you heard about phylloclad? Phylloclad is a stem. It is a stem. But here, the stem becomes completely fleshy. Here. And it becomes green also. It becomes green and fleshy. Now this stem, which is green and fleshy, students, it can do photosynthesis. So this stem which is fleshy, it is green, it can do photosynthesis. Now listen to me very carefully, all of you here. Here there are two types of stem here. Two examples. The first category is called as opentia. The second category is called as euphorbia. Now what is the difference, sir, between opentia and euphorbia? Understand. In the case of opentia, the stem is much more flat here. In the case of euphorbia, the stem is cylindrical. It is cylindrical in nature. So here it is flat, here it is cylindrical. That is your phylloclad. Clear all of you? Clear? This is called as a phylloclad. Stem, fleshy, green, photosynthetic. Opentia is flat, euphorbia is cylindrical in nature. Okay. Students, Ignore the spam. That is a spammer who is trying to disrupt the class. Okay. Yeah, it is yesterday. It was there in Gopika ma'am's class also. You might have noticed. Okay. It is Gopika ma'am class also. It is still there. Okay. So please do not look at it. You will ignore everything spam which is coming out. Okay. Now students, if this is clear to all of you, is this clear to all of you students? Clear? Now students, here you will also see something called as tendrils and thorns also. Okay, I'll tell you that. Wait a minute for that. Here we have phylloclad. Can you see? Flat structure, stem structure. Now, in the case of tendril, understand the tendril. Understand the tendril now. Tendril you understand, all of you. See this. Very important. Okay. Now, for example, this is the stem here. Stem here. Okay. Now, here we have the leaf. Here we have the leaf. Here we have the leaf here. Okay. Here we have the axillary bud. Axillary bud is right here. Okay. Now, students, this axillary bud right here. Now, this axillary bud right here, it will modify into a tendril. It will modify into a tendril. Okay. Now, can you see? This axillary bud right here will develop into a tendril right now. Develop into a tendril. Okay. You might have seen this in pumpkin, cucumber, grapevine. Okay. Pumpkin, cucumber, grapevine. Okay, students. Clear? Okay. Clear, students? That is tendril. In cucurbita you might have seen. Okay, pumpkin, grapevine, you might have seen this. Now, similarly, what happens in the case of thorn? In the case of thorn also what happens is, this is the stem. All of you understand the concept here. This is the stem right here. Nodes and internode. Here at the nodal region we have the leaf here. Leaf at the nodal region. Okay. Now what happens is, here also we have the axillary bud. Axillary bud is here. Axillary bud. Okay. Now this axillary bud right now will get modified into thorn. Can you see? It will get modified into a thorn. Okay. So get modified into thorn. Now example is what? Example is going to be lemon and bougainvillea. Citrus and bougainvillea. Citrus and bougainvillea. Do not get confused. Thorn is a stem modification. Spine is a leaf modification. Is this difference clear to all of you? If it is clear, I want to see some good fire emoji in the chat to confirm yes, all of you are understanding. Thorn is a stem modification. Spine usually is the leaf modification, which we see in the case of your opuntia. Cactus, you might have seen on cactus. No, cactus has spines. Cactus will not have thorns. Cactus will have spines. Okay. What rose? Rose also has stem. Stem, you might have seen thorns there. Those are thorns on the rose also. Rose also has thorns. It doesn't have spines. Spines are leaf modification. Okay. Nice catch. Nice catch. Okay. Tendril is also even leaf. We will tell that later. We'll tell that later on. Okay. So all of you, this is the entire stem modification. What rose day? Today is rose day. Wow. Students, when you grow old, you forget all that. When you grow old, you forget all that. Rose day, chocolate day, teddy day. Okay. So underground stem, we learned about rhizome, ginger, turmeric, banana. Tuber is potato. Okay. Corm is colocasia. Yes, corm is colocasia. Bulb is onion. Students, examples. Runner is going to be strawberry. Okay, no, there is no strawberry day. Okay, then they have stolon, mint and jasmine. Offset is going to be icorian pistia. Sucker is going to be chrysanthemum, banana and pineapple. Tendril, we learned in the case of your cucurbita, pumpkin, grapevine. Thorn in the case of citrus and bougainvillea. Phylloclad, example is euphorbia as well as opuntia. Too much, huh? Students, too much. Too much. Yes, I got one. I am only growing my own rose. You should never wait for people giving you rows. You should grow your own rows. Okay. Since we are a botanist here, we are the bot army. We will grow our own rows, give it to ourselves. Okay. That is the best thing. So we will grow our own rows, we'll take it to ourselves. Okay. Now students, all of these examples you need to know. All of these examples you have to know at the tip of your tongue. Tip of your tongue. Okay. I'm from Bangalore. Okay. So all these examples you need to know at any cost. Clear? Okay. Now. Okay. Now students, now. I want answer to this question in 0.1 second. Go quickly. 0.1 second. In bougainvillea, thorns are modification of. Yes, we grow on our own rows. We are true botanists. We don't want any from anyone. We are true botanists. We'll make our own We'll make our own rows. Quickly, students in the chat, answer. Okay. Quickly. Self-love. Self-love. Yes. It's stem modification. Stem modification. This question. Stem modifies into, students, 2016 question. Do you see that? 40% is not able to answer this question only. If you can tell, you are great today. Okay. Stem modified into flat green organ performing functions of leaf is called as. Okay. Quickly answer in the chat. Answer in the chat quickly. All of you. I'm seeing the answers. Students, please smash the like button. No, all of you are not smashing the like button. All of you are not smashing the like button. What is this? Okay. Some of you might be asking, sir, what is a phyllodes? This I will teach you in leaf. In the case of leaf, I'll teach you. Okay. What is cladophyle? Cladophyle also is a type of stem. It is photosynthetic, but it is not storage. It is not storage. Okay. Now, this question I'll give you 5 seconds. 5 seconds. Okay. Students, do you know how much of time? So all of you are aware that you have 3 hours for the examination. In that 3 hours, how much of time you are giving for biology? I want to see the answer in the chat. 5 like buttons. Whoa. How come 5 likes? Ginger tea is a rhizome. Students, quick tell me in the chat, how much of time are you giving for biology in your NEET examination? What is your plan for biology? How many marks? How many hours? 1 hour, 1.5 hours, 2 hours for biology? How many hours for biology? Okay. Students, today you will get one video in our channel today. Today you will get a video on the channel which will show the reality of your NEET examination. I will give you a sneak peek in the not now 24 hours in the exam. 24 hours will give. How exam only for 3 hours? How will you give 24 hours? Okay. So I'll give you a small reality. All of you ready? All of you ready for small reality? All of you are ready for small reality, students? Small reality of your NEET examination, NEET 2025. Today I'm going to make an entire video on it. It is already recorded. It will come to you. But I'll give you a small reality right now. Okay. If you are giving 1 hour for biology, you will have 30 seconds per question to answer. So you need to do 90 questions. Every 30 seconds, one question has to be done. Then you will ask, sir, how come 30 seconds only? For this, a video will come out today. I want everyone to see that video and get a proper idea of what you're getting into. Because biology is going to be the game-changing subject for you in this this examination. If you can completely master biology, and you're able to solve in 30 seconds. In 30 seconds, one question in biology. It could be AR question. It could be match the following. It could be any type of question. 30 seconds is your time. Okay. So I will show you a question now again. Let's see how fast you can solve. Time starts now. Go. Time starts now. Roots play insignificant role in absorption of water in. It plays insignificant role. You can easily get 300 plus if you can easily get 300 plus if you every single day if you practice. Otherwise, it's not possible. Quickly, I'll give you just 10 seconds to answer this question. Roots play insignificant role. It means that roots do not have a major role here. The answer is what? Answer is pistia. Answer is pistia. You'll ask me why, sir? Why pistia? Okay, why pistia? Because students, pistia is an aquatic plant. It has offset. It doesn't need absorption, right? Doesn't need absorption. Students, if you understood the concept till now, I want to see some roses in the chat today because now we'll come to leaf, right? So we'll see some roses in the chat. Okay, go. Quickly some roses in the chat if you understood till now. Okay, now we come to leaf, students. Now we come to leaf. Students, is the leaf an organ? In the case of plant, is a leaf an organ? Yes, NCERT is more than enough. You watch my lecture, NCERT is more than enough. Is leaf an organ? Yes, sir. Leaf is an organ. Leaf is an organ. Leaf is a photosynthetic organ. Leaf is a photosynthetic organ. Okay. Where does it develop from? Leaf develop from activity of SAM. From as the SAM is growing. Oh, so many roses, huh? Wow. Okay. So as the shoot apical meristem is growing, leaves are produced in an acropetal manner. Okay. Leaves are produced in acropetal manner. That is your leaf, present leaf. Where do you think leaf arise from? They are present at nodal regions. Okay. Now here is a typical leaf. Okay, here is a typical leaf. A leaf mainly has three main parts. Okay. First is the lamina. Can you see this? The broad lamina, which is mostly photosynthetic in nature. Mostly photosynthetic in nature. Here, broad lamina. Then there is something called as the petiole. Petiole is the stalk of the leaf. Yes, stalk of the leaf. Then there is something called as leaf base. This region is called as the leaf base. Here we have the leaf base. Okay. So first we have the lamina, leaf base and petiole. Okay. Now here students, there is an axillary bud. I told you axillary bud is present in leaf axil here. This can develop into a branch or a flower. There is something called a stipule here. Stipule is a immature leaf which can also help in protecting the leaf at bud stage. Okay. Now here students, you can get a question here. There are three main types of your leaf base present here. At leaf base we can have stipule. I told you already stipule can be present here. It is an immature leaf like structure. We can have something called as pulvinate leaf base. The meaning of pulvinate leaf base is swollen leaf base. It is completely swollen. Can you see here? The leaf base is completely swollen. Nice. Biryani ate it. 1 kg biryani ate it and it becomes swollen. Can you see? It is mainly observed in the leguminous plants. Swollen leaf base. Okay. Now apart from that students, sometimes what happens is leaf base can become paper like. Can you see here? Leaf base is like a cover here. Leaf base is like a cover here. Okay. It's like a cover here. Can you see this part? Leaf base is like a cover or a sheath and it is partially covering the stem. This is the main stem. leaf base is covering the stem only. This is the leaf blade. This is the entire leaf. Now all of you see this very carefully now. Now can you see here? This is the stem. This is the leaf blade here. This is the leaf base. Leaf base here is partially covering the stem itself. Can you see? Partially covering the stem itself. That is called as sheathing leaf base. It is called as sheathing leaf base. Okay. Students, do you all of you want these notes? Do all of you want these notes? All of these, if you read these notes, entire chapter is covered. Entire chapter is covered in these notes. Okay. So if you want these notes, and notes will be available in the description of this today's video, where you have to drop a comment. Okay. And also in the Telegram channel, I'll upload it eventually. Okay. Now, what is venation? All of you know this from many years, students. All of you know this. Basic venation. Tell me the answer in the chat. What is venation? Venation is nothing but arrangement of veins and veinlets on the leaf blade. On the leaf blade. Can you see? On the leaf blade, we can see reticulate venation. Reticulate means network of veins. That is seen in the case of dicots. Parallel venation is seen in the case of your monocots. Monocots. Okay. Now, all of you understand the type of leaf now. Very carefully. Very big concept coming up now. Type of leaf. For example, there are two main types of leaf. Simple leaf, compound leaf. What is the difference? Understand. You might have all of you seen this type of leaf in your neighboring. If you go outside your house, you will see leaf like this, easy leaf. This leaf and this leaf both are a type of simple leaf. Why? Because these are called as incisions. Can you see incisions? They are called as incisions. This incision, is it touching the midrib, students? This right here is the midrib. Midrib. Are these incisions touching the midrib? Are they? Tell me, students. Are they touching the midrib? The answer is no. When incisions do not touch the midrib, it is called as a simple leaf. Simple leaf. Now, what is a compound leaf? In the case of compound leaf, what happens is all the incisions, are they touching the midrib? Yes. Now here, in the case of compound leaf, the midrib has one more name. The other name of midrib here is called as rachis. It's called as rachis. Rachis is the midrib here. Midrib here. So all the incisions are, see, imagine this is a flower. This is the entire leaf. This is the entire leaf. Okay. Here we have multiple incisions. All the incisions are touching the midrib. Can you see? Touching the midrib. And each one is called as a leaflet here. Leaflet. So incisions are touching the midrib, compound leaf. Now students, tell me in the chat quickly, all of you. Here, in the case of simple leaf, at the leaf axil, here we will have something called as an axillary bud. Axillary bud is present here? Yes sir, axillary bud is present here. Do you think there will be axillary bud everywhere here? Everywhere? At the base? Everywhere do you think we have axillary bud here? The answer is no. So you will never find axillary bud. You will never find axillary bud at the leaf base here. You might find an axillary bud here at the base one here. But you will not find axillary bud at every single leaflet base. Not possible. Not possible. Okay? Not possible. Simple leaf and compound leaf. How many of you understood the concept here? Don't lie to me. Don't lie to me. Tell me honestly, how many of you understood the concept of simple leaf and compound leaf? Simple leaf, incisions are not touching the midrib. In the case of compound leaf, it is touching. Compound leaf, special type of midrib called as rachis is present here. Present here. All of you drink some water now. All of you drink some water quickly. Nice. Nice. Now there are two more types of compound leaf. Okay. There is something called as pinnately compound as well as palmately compound. Pinnately compound and palmately compound. What is the difference? Understand. Diagram is the most important part. You can't by heart all of this. Here can you see, in the case of pinnately compound, the entire compound leaf where we have leaflets, rachis, everything is attached to petiole. Petiole is then attached to the nodal region. So there is a petiole present here in the case of pinnately compound. But what about palmately compound? In the case of palmately compound, all the leaflets are directly attached to the petiole. There is no rachis here. Clear, all of you? There is no rachis here. Can you see there is no rachis here? So all the leaflets are attached directly to the petiole, like a palm. This is a petiole. Everything is attached here only. Example is silk cotton. Neem is example here. Neem is an example here. Okay. This is a simple leaf. And it's so beautiful, right? Look at this beautiful leaf. Leaves also look so beautiful, man. There should be a leaf day also. There should be a leaf day also someday. Leaf day. Nice, no? This is so beautiful. Like, so properly it is cut. It is not touching the midrib. So scientifically done. It is so cleverly done. Simple leaf. Okay. Now students, there is something called as arrangement of leaf. Okay, arrangement of leaf. Okay. Here there is something called as alternate, opposite, word. Very, very simple. Very simple. In alternate, what is happening? Single leaf at each node. Every single node will have one leaf. Example, China rose, mustard, sunflower. Okay. Now opposite, can you see? At each node, how many leaves do you find, students? 2 leaf. So every single node will have 2 leaf. That is called as opposite. A pair of leaf at each node. Guava calotropis. Okay. Now understand world now. World. At one node, at each node, how many do you see here? At every single node here, do you see multiple leaf? So one leaf is alternate in an alternating manner. Opposite is 2 leaf in an opposite direction. Word is a bunch of leaf at a single node. Example is Allistonia. Allistonia. Very simple to understand here. Very simple to understand. Okay. Very, very simple to understand this simple concept of arrangement of leaf. Okay. This is alternate hibiscus. Can you see here? Alternate. You can see alternate it is there. This is your opposite. Can you see guava? It is opposite. Students, you should not limit your botany knowledge to your textbook, NCERT, that is your textbook, or your notes, or this lecture. In the evening time, try taking a walk to a park. In the evening time today, try today. In the evening, try going for a walk in a park and try to observe the leaves around you. Is it simple? Is it compound? Is it pinnately? Is it palmately? Try to observe, is it alternate, opposite, word? Try to observe all of these small detail in a plant. Also, if you look at a leaf, if you look at a flower, try to see the flower. Is it how many petals are there? How many sepals are there? How many anther? Arrangement of anther. How is the stigma there? Okay, so try to observe all these small details when you go for a walk, and that is when you will actually understand botany. You will never understand if you just mug up these lines of NCERT or see these notes, or if you just listen to me. No, you need to experiment with all of this. You see, zoology you can't. You cannot go on tiger, open your mouth, I want to see all the teeth incisor. Not possible. You can't go to one jungle, see a monkey and animal kingdom. You can't do. Not possible. Okay, you can do with plants. Plants will not hit you back. Okay, so try doing with plants. Okay, clear, students? So try doing with plants. Look around and find them. So can you see? It is alternate. Look at the Allistonia. Okay, completely word. At one point, many leaves are present in one point. Okay. Now, leaf modification. For example, Leaf can also become tendril. Students, this you might have noticed, right? Pea plants, tendrils, leaf. Then the next one is protection. That is, cactus can have spines. I told you, spines, leaf. Thorn is stem. Thorn is stem. Here, storage we learned fleshy. Onion and garlic which you eat nicely, no? That is a leaf. Onion, garlic which you're cutting and crying and eating, no? That is nothing but the leaf which you are eating of a garlic or a onion. Okay. Now, petiole is photosynthetic. That is, some of the petiole called as phylloclad. Phylloclad. This is phylloclad. So this is phylloid. This is phylloid. Phylloclad is a stem modification. Phylloid is a petiole or a leaf modification. Phylloid. Example is Australian acacia. Australian acacia is example. Okay. Now, what is leaf base? I told you swollen, pulvinous. Leafing sheath base is present in the case of monocots. In the case of monocots. Pitcher plant. How many of you seen pitcher plant, students? How many of you seen pitcher plant in real life? I have seen. How many of you seen pitcher plant in real life? Not the cartoon one, in real life. Okay, real life pitcher plant. Okay, this is your tendril. This is the leaf. Can you see? Here, all this tiny dot. That is the leaf. Then what is this green color part, students? This green color part is the phylloclad, the stem. So this green color part is the stem. This dot is the leaf. Reduced leaf. Okay. Reduced leaf. This is the onion which you eat. Can you see onion, the leaf? This is the stem. This white color part right here is the stem here. Okay. There is something called dry leaf on the top which you remove, and inside we have fleshy leaf. Here also, this is also a leaf. Top also is also leaf. Okay. This is Australian acacia. In this Australian acacia, the petiole is becoming photosynthetic in nature. Photosynthetic in nature. This is pitcher plant. Don't you feel like putting some juice in this and start drinking the juice? It cannot eat human. Not possible. This is this tiny. This tiny. Okay. What I have seen is this tiny. Okay. Here we have Venus flytrap. This Mario game you might have seen. Mario game. Venus flytrap plants. Venus flytrap plants. Students, do you want to know why do they eat insects? If they can do photosynthesis on their own, why do they need to eat insects? Why? Because insects are a very good source of nitrogen. Because these plants cannot get enough of nitrogen from the soil, so they eat insects for the nitrogen. Okay. Yeah. I want answer to this question in 15 seconds. Which of the following is not a stem modification? Thorns of cactus, tendrils of cucumber, flattened structure of opentia, pitcher of nepenthes. Nepenthes is your pitcher plant. See, opentia is stem. Pitcher plant is a leaf modification. Okay. Is a leaf modification. Yeah, you go keep your head. Who wants to keep their head in pitcher plant? Huh? Leaves become modified into spines in. Leaf is modified into spines. Who wants to keep their head in pitcher plant? Mental. Leaves become modified into spines. In the case of opentia. Okay. Students, now we come to inflorescence. And with this, half of the chapter is over. Right now. Next half is very less, very easy. You don't have to worry about anything. right? So it's very, very easy from now here onwards. You can finish the entire chapter in next 1 hour, maximum 1 hour, the chapter will be over. Okay, so I'll show you more difficult questions which are coming up. Okay, so I believe students, till now there is no doubt. I believe till now there is no doubt here. Okay, any of the following things. All of you drink some water also. On my behalf also, all of you drink some water. Done. We'll do families again. Yeah. Done, students. All of you drank water. Done. Done. Okay. If you're ready for the second part, students, I want everyone to quickly smash the like button and show some energy in the chat. Like, yes, sir. We are ready now to the second part of this chapter. That is the inflorescence, flower, Androecium, Gynoecium. Then placentation, estivation. Very simple concepts. Very simple concepts. Okay. And fruit and seed. And with that, your morphology is done and dusted. Okay. So let's start with the new part, second part of the morphology now, where I want ultimate attention for the next half now. I want everyone to be very active. Every single time I ask a question, I need an immediate answer. Okay. So let's get going now. Let's get going. Okay. Now, inflorescence. Inflorescence. What is it? Arrangement of flower on the floral axis. Correct. Now, students, if you see, this is the entire stem, nodal regions, internode. Internode, there is a axillary bud here. This is the axillary bud which is growing into a branch, growing into a complete branch here. On this branch, we can see arrangement of flowers on a branch. Okay. Now, this entire branch is called as inflorescence axis or peduncle. It is called as peduncle. So, the stalk of inflorescence. Peduncle here is a stalk. Peduncle here is a stalk. Stalk of inflorescence is called as peduncle. Stalk of flower is called as pedicel. Stalk of leaf is called as petiole. 3 P's you need to remember. Peduncle, petiole, pedicel. 3 P's of your morphology. Okay. Now, students, here we can see node, we can see flowers here. Internode is completely condensed here. Internode is completely condensed here in inflorescence. There are mainly two types of inflorescence. One is called as racemose, one is called as cymose. Now, I will teach you this in a very, very easy way. Okay. Now, students, I have a scenario for all of you. We have two people running the race. One person is 20 years, one more person is 90 years. Person A, one human is, let's say, is 20 years old. B is 90 years old. Who will win the race, students? Who will win the race? 20 years human boy or 90 years old grandpa? Who will win a running race? Tell me. Obviously, he has more experience, but experience doesn't play a role here. You can't use the experience here. Not possible. So, 20 years person, very high chance that they'll win the race. Very high chance that they might win the race. Okay. Same concept you need to apply here also. In racemose. Race. It is a race. Racemose is a race. Running race, not B. It's A only. Okay. Racemose is a race. Who will win the race? Students, who will be in the race? Race can be won by the young. Can you see 20 years old? So in the case of racemose inflorescence, what happens? In the case of racemose inflorescence, it's a race and young person, young flower is at the top. Old flower is at the bottom. Old flower is at the bottom. Young flower is at the top. That is called as racemose inflorescence. Here, main axis will keep on growing. Unlimited growth. It can keep on growing here. Keep on growing. It is an acropetal arrangement. Acropetal. Meaning of acropetal is young at the top, old at the bottom. Complete opposite in the case of cymose inflorescence. In the case of cymose inflorescence, older at the top, younger at the bottom. Apart from that, if you notice very carefully here, main stem is ending with a flower here. Main axis terminates with a flower. Can you see? Main axis is terminating with a flower. So it is a limited growth here, and such arrangement is called as basipetal arrangement. Basipetal. Basipetal, acropetal. Very simple difference. Okay. Now, can you see it, students? Old at the top, racemose, cymose. Here, young at the top, old at the bottom, young at the top, old at the bottom. This is racemose, cymose. Okay. There is something called terminal, solitary terminal, that is only one flower, old flower at the top. Okay. Quick question. I'll give you exactly 20 seconds to answer this question. 20 seconds to answer this question. 20 seconds, enough for all of you. 20 seconds is enough. In cymose inflorescence, the main axis has unlimited growth. Cymose, no. Solitary flower, no. Not in many cases, not everywhere. Not everywhere. Has unlimited growth, but lateral branching is seen in flower, no. Terminates in a flower, yes. In the case of cymose, it is terminating with a flower. Can you see here? Cymose terminating with the flower, limited growth, basipetal. Basipetal, limited growth here. Basipetal, limited growth. That is cymose inflorescence. Okay. Terminated flower, main axis is terminating. Okay. Now, what is flower then, students? Next, we come to flower. Okay. Students, is there a flower day also? I do not know if there is a flower day. Oh, today is a flower day. No, rose is a flower. Almost forgot. Today is flower day actually. Okay. So almost forgot that today is flower. Okay. Now, what is a flower? Flower is actually nothing but reproductive organ of plant. Yes, it is nothing but a reproductive organ of a plant. It is reproductive part. Flower is reproductive organ here. It is mainly seen in sexual reproduction plants. Plants which are doing sexual reproduction. Plants which are doing sexual reproduction, we can see this. That is the flower. Flower can be seen here. That is, in the case of flower, the shoot apical meristem is modified into floral meristem here. Floral meristem. Okay. Now, this is a typical flower right here. Typical flower. Now, students, if you can see a typical flower, it has 4 different whorls here. 4 different whorls. The outermost whorl of a flower is called as the calyx. Here, the outermost whorl of a flower is called as calyx, which is made up of petal. Calyx, which is made up of sepals here. Made up of sepals, not petal, sepal. The second whorl is called as the made up of petal, that is corolla. Corolla is the second most whorl, that is made up of petal. The third whorl is called as androecium. Androecium, that is made up of stamen. The innermost whorl is called as your gynoecium, which is made up of pistil. Gynoecium, which is made up of pistil here. This one is a carpel here, single carpel. So single carpel is given here. Okay. So here, students, that is your entire flower. Now here we have a pedicel. Pedicel is the stalk. Pedicel is the stalk of an entire flower. So this is an entire flower right here. In this entire flower, students, there at the bottom of flower there can be something called as bract here. Bract. Okay, what is bract? It is mostly green color leaf-like structure you might have seen. Now, students, tell me, how many of you seen this flower in real life? How many of you seen this flower in real life? Raise your hands. How many of you seen this flower in real life? Quickly tell me in the chat. Have you seen this flower? Is this a flower actually? This right here is called as bougainvillea. Bougainvillea. What if I tell you, students? What if I tell you This is not a flower. This is not a flower actually. You might have seen this. This is called as bougainvillea. You might have seen this. It comes in white color variant and pink color variant. Even some cases orange color variant. This is not a flower at all. Yes, it is not a flower. This right here, student, this right here is actually a bract. This right here is actually an entire bract. Now, where is the flower then? If you carefully open this bracts, inside we can see a white color flower. White color flower can be seen on the inside here, and that is a flower. Now you might ask me, sir, why is the bract colorful here? The main reason why bract is colorful here is because this bract will now attract pollinators, because white color flower is not very beautiful inside. Okay, that is the main reason for attracting. So inside the flower is beautiful, but for your pollinators it is not so much. Okay, this is a bract, example of a bract here. Okay. Now types of flowers, friends, type of flowers. Okay, there is something called as complete flower, incomplete flower. What random things. There is something called as complete and incomplete. What is the difference? In the case of complete flower, all four whorls are present. All four present. If any whorl is absent, if any of the one whorl is absent, it becomes incomplete, directly incomplete. Now, there is something called essential whorls and non-essential. What is non-essential? Non-essential basically means which are directly not involved in the reproduction. Indirect involvement, 𝐂𝐤 𝐤 indirect involvement. What is essential whorls? Which are directly involved in reproduction, that is Androecium, Gynoecium, direct involvement. You might have seen this. In the case of humans, there is something called as primary reproductive part or primary sex organ. Primary sex organ is testis or ovaries in the case of male and female. Secondary sex organs. Secondary sex organs are basically the ducts and the glands or fallopian tube or the entire uterus there. So that becomes secondary sex organ, primary sex organ. Here also we have the non-essential whorls and essential whorls. Essential whorls. Okay. No. Now, student, there is next thing is called a symmetry. Very, very simple symmetry. We have three different types of symmetry: actinomorphic, zygomorphic, asymmetrical. Actinomorphic is also called as radial symmetry because we can take a flower, chop, 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 chop in any radii. That becomes radial symmetry. For example, let me show you. Let me show you a flower. See this flower, students. Nice symmetrical flower. Here, here, here. Whatever you cut it, it can be cut in multiple radii. That is why it is called as actinomorphic. And this is the symbol. This is the symbol right here. Actinomorphic. And here in actinomorphic example is datura, chili, mustard. How to remember this? MCD. MCD. McDonald's. No. Mustard, chili, datura. MCD. For actinomorphic. Okay. You will do acting and you go to MCD. You take your parents like, I'm very hungry, I'm very hungry. You take them to McDonald's by acting. So actinomorphic, datura, chili, mustard. MCD. Okay. Next one is called as the zygomorphic. Okay, zygomorphic. Listen, very simple zygomorphic also. In the case of zygomorphic, you can divide a flower in only one radii. Only like this. You can't divide anywhere else. You cannot divide. If you see this example here, the gulmohar, only one plane. Gulmohar only in one plane, like this or something. Okay. Cassia also this way. Cassia also. Okay. Pea flower also in one way. Even bean flower also in one way only. One way. So if you can divide the flower in only one radii, zygomorphic. Zygomorphic. Okay. So actinomorphic is what? If a flower is divided into two equal halves in any radial plane. Zygomorphic also called as bilateral symmetry. Bi means two. In a flower can be divided into two equal halves only in one plane. One plane, it is called as zygomorphic. It is called as zygomorphic. Clear? P. bean, Gulmohar and Cassia. P. bean, Gulmohar and Cassia. Okay. Now, what is asymmetry? Asymmetry, forget, you tell me students. All of you tell me students, this flower right here, how can I divide this flower? Is it possible to divide this flower, students? Is it possible? Is it possible to divide this flower in any other plane? If I divide like this also, anyway, is it possible? Not possible at all. This right here is called as canna. This right here is a canna flower. Canna. So, canna is an example of asymmetry. If a flower cannot be divided into two equal halves in any plane, asymmetrical. Okay. Zygomorphic, asymmetrical, and actinomorphic. Done. Okay. Now there is Meares condition. Trimeres, tetrameres, pentameres. Meares condition is very simple, students. In some flowers, they follow a general rule. If there are 3 petals, there will be 3 sepals. If there are 4 petals, 4 sepals. This is pentameres. 5 petals, 5 sepals. That is called as merosity. Okay. Now, if that concept is clear to all of you, students, quickly tell me in the chat, what is your favorite flower? I want to know today. Students, what is your favorite flower? Not cannabis. This is canna. Oh my god. Cannabis is different. That you will learn from Gopika ma'am in Human Health and Disease, how to not abuse things. Okay. Tell me, what is your favorite flower? In the chat. Mine are lilies. Lilies are my favorite. Lilies are so vibrant, so nice. It gives a type of serenity if you look at lilies. Cannabis, it seems. Cannabis, lol. Canna and cannabis are different. Lotus, jasmine, oh, nothing can beat jasmine smell. Lotus, little questionable. Lotus, okay. I like even sunflowers. Sunflowers also nice. Sunflower is actually I really love sunflower because I can eat sunflower seeds a lot. So what used to happen is when I used to be very young in my farm, whenever I used to go in my farm and we used to grow sunflower. Okay. And from the sunflower field, when there is a harvest season, the entire sunflower thing, the entire flower used to be given to me once all the seeds are formed. So what I used to do, I used to sit in my tractor, sit on the tractor, nicely keep eating the sunflower seeds whole day. No lunch, no dinner, no breakfast. All day sunflower seeds. Okay. So it used to be a crazy diet. I don't even know how I survived it. Okay. Sunflowers is nice. Now, next is called as classification based on the position of ovary. Very nice it is. Okay. Very nice it is. Okay. Classification based on position of ovary. Here we have 3 types. Hypogynous, perigynous and epigynous. Students, in examination NEET 2024, this question was asked. They give you B and C. Remember, both of them are perigynous. This is a hypogynous, that is your epigynous. Now I will teach you the entire concept with the help of diagram. So please focus on the diagram right now. Okay. Now, this one is called as hypogynous condition. Let's zoom in on hypogynous, all of you. I hope it is visible to all of you now, properly visible. Okay. Now, students, if you see this hypogynous condition, right here, this is the entire gynoecium. Okay, the entire gynoecium here or carpel here. This is the ovary. Okay. Now, can you see, students, the ovary here or the gynoecium part, which is the part of gynoecium, is on the top. Can you see? It is completely on the top. And can you see every other floral wall? It could be stamen, it could be petal, it could be sepal. Stamen, petal, sepal. Every single other wall is coming from the bottom. It is arising from the bottom. Here, your ovary is the queen here. Queen, which is on the top, which is superior ovary. Queen is superior here, superior ovary, and every other wall is coming from the bottom. Everyone is at the bottom here. That is called as your superior ovary or hypogynous condition. Okay. Now see this one. These two. All of you see this. These two. These two you see. Okay. These two, all of you see this now. This is called as your perigynous condition or half inferior. Okay. This is the ovary. Okay. Ovary. Now can you see, all of you? Ovary is actually in the center here. It is right in the center. It is right in the center here. Right in the center. Okay. Now, what is this? This is called as thalamus. Thalamus. Okay. This is called as rim. Rim of thalamus. Rim of thalamus. Not thala, thalamus. It's a thala now. Okay. Rim of thalamus. The meaning of rim, rim is the corner. Rim is the corner. Corner of the thalamus. Now can you see, all of you? Ovary is in the center. Other whorls are arising from the corner of thalamus. Corner of thalamus. Can you see here? This is the corner. Okay. Here we have stamen, petal, as well as the sepal. Every other whorl is arising from the rim of thalamus. Like you have bicycle rim, bicycle rim. Here we have a rim here, rim. So this is called as the rim or the outer cover, rim of thalamus. If you can see here also, same concept. Can you see? This is the thalamus. This is the rim here, rim. From the rim of the thalamus right here, we can see the arising of the other whorls. Ovary is in the center. Ovary is in the center right here. This is called as your half inferior ovary. Ovary is half inferior, your condition here. Last one is epigynous condition. Last one is called as the epigynous condition. Okay, all of you understand. In epigynous condition, what is happening? What is actually happening in epigynous condition? Now students, where is the ovary here? This is the ovary. Here we can see ovules. Ovules. Now can you see, students? The entire ovary is completely covered by the thalamus. For example, if this is the ovary, the entire thalamus is completely covering the ovary or engulfing the ovary, like chop, it's gone inside. And this is called as inferior ovary, and ovary is present at the bottom here. Every other whorl is at the top. Stamen, stamen, corolla and calyx. Stamen, petal, sepal. Everything is at the top here. Everything is at the top here. Rest of the thing is at the bottom here. This is called as inferior ovary. It is called as inferior ovary. So understand the diagrams. Definitions you can read later on. Okay. Clear, students? Is the concept clear to all of you? Is the concept clear to all of you, students? Tell me yes or no. Tell me yes or no now. I'll give you a small revision now. See this. Hypogynous condition. Gynoecium occupies the highest position. Calyx, corolla and androecium are situated below. Everything is below it. Okay. So ovary is superior. So ovary is said to be superior here. Symbol is what? Gynoecium at the top on the stage. Okay. Now examples here. Example here is what, students? Hero must have brinjal. Hero must have brinjal. H for hypogynous condition, M for mustard, H for hibiscus, B for brinjal. Hero must have brinjal. Hero, hypogynous, mustard, hibiscus and brinjal. Hero must have brinjal. Done. Hero must have brinjal. Otherwise, mother will hit him. Okay. Next one is perigynous condition. Gynoecium at the center here, ovary at the center. Calyx, corolla and androecium are located at the rim of the thalamus. Half inferior. Symbol is this, half inferior. Now, people pluck pink rose. People pluck pink rose. People pluck pink rose. That is perigynous condition. Plum, peaches, roses. Plum, peaches, roses. Okay. Plum, peaches, and roses. So PPR, not RRR, it is PPR. It is similar to RRR, but it is PPR here. PPR. Okay, PPR. Clear, students? Clear. Last one is epigynous condition. I told you. Calyx, corolla and androecium are above the ovary. Ovary is full inferior here, and this is the symbol here. Symbol is what? Symbol is this. Ovary is inferior. Here we have guava, sunflower, and cucumber. Epic sunnies go camping. Epic sunny E for epigynous condition, S for sunflower, G for guava, and C for cucumber. Okay, C for cucumber. Done. Epic sunny goes camping. Done, no? Friends, this example, the mnemonics are so easy, and if you're my student from very long time, all of these mnemonics are by heart to you, right? Okay. Now what is calyx? Outermost wall, collection of sepal, green leaf-like structure, function production, flower in bud stage. Corolla, collectively called as petals, brightly colored, attracting the pollinators. Now here students, calyx can be of two types. Calyx can be of two types here. What is gamosepalous? Can anyone tell me? What is gamosepalous? Students, tell me the meaning of gamosepalous and polysepalous. Okay, gamo and poly. Gamo, G for glue. So when you use glue or gum, students, do you think everything will stick together or everything will be free? Tell me, students. When you use glue, do you think everything will stick? Obviously, gum will stick. So gamo means what? Gamo means calyx are fused or sepal is fused. Sepal are fused. Opposite poly means free, obviously. Poly means free. G for glue, united. Okay. Now same goes for corolla also. We have something called as gamopetalous and polypetalous. Poly means free. G for glue. Glue means fused. Poly means free completely. Free. Okay. Free. Poly means free. Okay. One question for all of you students. Radial symmetry is seen in MCD, mustard, datura chili. Radial symmetry is found in mustard, datura chili. Mustard, datura chili, right? Tell me answer in the chat quickly, all of you. Mustard, datura chili. Mustard is brassica. Yes, brassica. Oh, what is this here? Placentation. I didn't teach you placentation yet. Okay. Now students, understand estivation. Estivation is very simple. I will teach you entire estivation in 10 minutes. Ready? 10 minutes ready, 10 minutes, 10 minutes. What is estivation? Estivation is nothing but arrangement of petal with respect to other petal, arrangement of sepal with respect to other sepal. So arrangement of petal with respect to other petal, or arrangement of sepal with respect to other sepal. That's all. That's all. Okay. That is called as estivation. That is called as estivation. Okay. Now see this, all of you. There are 4 different types of estivation in your syllabus. Okay. Valvate, twisted, imbricate, and vexillary. Okay. Now what is the difference between each one of them? Now look at in valvate estivation. Look at valvate estivation, students. In the case of valvate estivation, valvate is everything touching one another. See this? Everything is just touching the margins. All the margins are touching this, then this. All the margins are touching. Is there any overlap here? No overlap. There is no overlap whatsoever here. There is no overlap whatsoever here in the case of your valvate estivation. But in the case of twisted, do you see any overlap here? Alternatingly overlap is there? Alternating overlap is there. Overlap is there. Now what about imbricate? In the case of imbricate, right? In the case of imbricate, do you see here? One is completely out. This is completely out. This is completely on the inner side. Completely inside, completely outside. Remaining 1, 2, 3. Remaining 1, 2, 3 are in an alternating or a twisted manner. I'll repeat again. In the case of imbricate, one is completely outside, one is completely inside, outside, inside. Remaining 1, 2, 3 are in an alternating manner, that is imbricate. Last one is vexillary or papilinaceous corolla. Here we have standard, here we have wing, and last one is keel. Standard, wing, and keel can be observed here. Standard, wing, and keel can be observed here. Standard, wing, and keel. Now let's repeat again, students. See this here. Valvate estivation. Valvate estivation. Sepals of petals in the whorl touch one another at margin. Just at margin, there is no overlapping whatsoever. Okay. This here example is VC. What is VC? Valvate chair. What is V chair? That is valvate, C for calotropis. C for calotropis. C for calotropis. Okay. C for calotropis. Okay. Twisted estivation. Okay. One margin of the appendage sepal of petal overlap on the other one. Now what is the trick here? Lady from China has a twisted cotton. Okay, this is the first example. Cotton is the first example. Okay, then here we have H. Can anyone tell me what is the H? H is going to be the hibiscus. Say C is going to be China rose. China rose. And L, lady, is going to be lady's finger. So lady's finger, China rose, cotton, twisted estivation. Twisted estivation. Okay, twisted estivation. Twisted estivation, lady's finger, China rose, cotton. Done. So easy. Okay. Now imbricate estivation. What rhymes with imbricate? Advocate. Imbricate, advocate. Advocate fights gun cases. Advocate fights gun cases. Gun case. G for Gulmohar, C for Cassia. Gulmohar and Cassia are the examples of imbricate estivation. Margins of sepals of petals overlap one another, but not in any particular direction. Not in any particular direction. Okay. Last one is vexillary estivation. You can remember this on your own. Doesn't require much. Okay. small is BP vaccine. V for vexillary, bean, and P is for P. Bean and P. Okay. Next concept is called as perianth. Students, do you realize? In 10 minutes, we finished estivation. We learned the concept, we learned the diagram, and we also finished the mnemonics. Here, one thing which I missed out here is, students, in vexillary estivation, sometimes they can ask you the floral formula. For example, here can you see? This is standard, then wing, and we have keel here. Keel here. This one is 1 plus 2 plus 2. But here free, but this keel is completely fused. Keel is completely fused here. Concept done? Concept done. Okay. So this is called as concept clearing. Concept clearing. Okay. And students, quickly tell me in the chat, which is the next chapter you want? Anyone? Which is the next chapter which you want this rapid, quick revision plus concepts plus question practice? Next chapter in botany. Okay. Now, what is perianth? Very simple, very simple. Okay. What exactly happens in perianth? Understand. Petal, sepal. Petal, let me write for you. Petal plus sepal. Petal plus sepal, it is called as tepal. It is called as tepal. Petal plus sepal, it is called as tepal. A group of tepal, group or whorl. Whorl of tepal is called as what? Whorl of tepal is called as, complete group of tepal is called as perianth. Anatomy I did last week, students. Anatomy last week I've done. Go check out my lecture on anatomy. I have done last week. I have done anatomy lecture in 3D. More than around 2.5k students have already watched it and they have understood anatomy like never before. So go watch the anatomy one more time. Last week I have done. Last week. Evolution, go become a mildew. Okay. That is called as perianth. Found in monocots. Found in monocots. What is androecium, students? What is androecium? Androecium is a group of stamen. When we have multiple group of stamen, it's called as androecium. Called as androecium. Okay. Now there is something called as parts of androecium. Okay. Now for example, students, can anyone tell me what are the two main parts of stamen? This is a typical stamen. Typical stamen. A stamen will have a long slender part called as filament. Filament. This is the bilobed structure called as anther. Bilobed structure called as anther here. So filament and anther is given here. Filament and anther. Okay. Filament and anther. Okay. Can anyone tell me answer to this question? What is the proximal end of filament of stamen is attached to? This question is actually from your sexual reproduction in flowering plants, SRFP. This question is from SRFP actually. Proximal end of filament is attached to. Proximal and distal end. Here. Proximal end, top is distal end. This is proximal, this is distal. Students, tell me, this is the proximal end. Where will this be attached to now? This entire stamen at the bottom. If here we have the, let's see, I'll give you a small clue. This is the gynoecium. Gynoecium. Here we have the anthers arising. Stamen. Here we have stamen. Here at the bottom, students, here at the bottom, we have a green color structure. What is this structure called as? What do you call this one? Can anyone tell me what is this structure called as? This part here. This is the proximal end. Proximal end. Proximal end of the stamen is attached to this region right here. Right here. Okay. Tell me the answer now. Tell me the answer. Thalamus or petal? Thalamus or petal? Super drawing. Being sarcastic with me, all of you. Full sarcasm you're doing, sarcasm. Super diagram it seems. Okay, look at this question. When margins of sepal or petal overlap on one another, but without any particular direction, the condition is called as. No, this is overlapping. It is overlapping, but not in a particular direction. Okay, tell me that answer now. Well, sarcastic you have become, all of you. Nice diagram it seems, sir. Nice diagram. Tell the answer. See, students, when margins of sepals or petals overlap, yes, it is overlapping. It is overlapping one another, but not in any direction. One is completely out, one is completely inside. Answers anyone? Anyone answer? Imbricate. Again, tell me the examples of imbricate. Imbricate, advocate. Advocate fights, gun cases, Gulmohar and Cassia. Gulmohar and Cassia are the examples here. Okay. Noise. Okay. Now, students, now I'll teach you something called as union of stamen. Ready? All of you ready? I will teach you the entire union of stamen in 5 minutes. 5 minutes. See, understand. Now there are two categories here. Okay, see this. There is something called as epiphyllous condition and epipetalous condition. In epiphyllous, stamen plus tepal. Stamen plus tepal is called as epiphyllous condition. Perianth and Androecium has a connection here. Example is lily. Stamen plus tepal, epiphyllous. What is epipetalous condition? Stamen plus petal, they are fused. Stamen and petal are fused together. That is called as epipetalous condition. Petalous. Example is brinjal. What is synandrous condition? In the case of synandrous condition, anther and filament both are fused. Synandrous, both are fused completely. What about syngenetious condition? In syngenetious condition, only anther is fused. Can you see? Only anther is fused. Filament is free. Filament is free here. That is syngenous condition. Now, what about adalphous condition? In adalphous condition, only filament is fused. If only filament, can you see, only filament is fused, it is called as adalphous condition. We have monoadalphous into one bundle, diadalphous, two bundle, polyadalphous, many bundle. Okay, that's all is the stamen, union of stamen. Okay, union of stamen. Students, please use these notes for your preparation. I cannot stress enough. No. When the stamen is free, it is called as polyandrous. Polyandrous means it is completely free. Polyandrous means filament is free. Adalphous condition, monoadalphous, diadalphous, polyadalphous. Okay, mono, di and poly. Mono, di and polyadalphous condition. Adalphous condition. Here, monoadalphous example is China rose. Diadalphous condition is pea plant, and polyadalphous condition is citrus. Okay, examples you have to remember. No. China rose, pea plant, diadalphous. That is filaments divided into two bundle. This is 9 plus 1 condition. 9 are in one bundle, 1 is separate. Can you see? 1 is separate. 9 plus 1 condition. Citrus. Can you see? Multiple bundles. Here one bundle, here one bundle. Multiple bundles can be seen here. Multiple bundles. More than 2 bundles. Free is polyandrous. epipetalous condition, epiphyllous condition. Now, classification based on length of stamen. In length of stamen, there is something called as tetradynamous, didynamous. What is tetra? In the case of tetradynamous, what is happening? There are in total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are in total of 6 stamen here. They are arranged into 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 on the inside. Can you see? These are on the inside. 2, 3, 4. 4 on the inside, 2 on the outside. So 2 plus 4 condition. 2 plus 4 condition. Okay. 2 are on the outside, 4 are on the inside. Tetradynamous condition. It is seen in the case of mustard. Now, what was didynamous condition? In the case of didynamous condition, 2 plus 2 condition. 2 tall are on the outside, 2 small are on the inside. Example is salvia. Salvia is the example here. Okay. That is classification based on length of stamen. I'll give you exactly 5 seconds to answer this question. The term polyandrous is related to Gynoecium, Androecium, corolla, calyx. 5 seconds rule. 5 second rule. Quickly 5 seconds. Quickly 5 seconds after time is up. Polyandrous refers to Androecium. Polyandrous means the filaments are completely free. Okay. Now we come to Gynoecium, students. Now we come to Gynoecium. Okay. Gynoecium is nothing but collection of pistil. Collection of pistil. Now, students, how many of you think pistil and carpel both are same to same? How many of you think pistil and carpels are same to same? Raise your hands. Quickly raise your hands, because I'll teach you something very important today. How many of you think pistil and carpel are same to same? There is no difference, sir. Both are same to same. How many of you believe that? Okay. Or any one of you know the difference between pistil and carpel? Or are they same to same? Question to all of you. Are they same or are they different? Anyone? Nice. Let me look at the chat now. Okay, same, different. Not same. Sometimes they are same, sometimes they are different. If they feel the mood is there, they will be like, oh, so today I'll become pistil. Tomorrow I'll become carpel. Is it like that? Like today they are like a nice mood, they're like, oh, today happy I am, I'll become carpel, tomorrow I'll become pistil. Huh? Are they same or different? Do you want to learn? Do you want to learn today, students? Do you want to learn the difference between pistil and carpel? Do you want to learn what is pistil and carpel? You want to learn? Obviously, students, you should have the eagerness to learn something new today. Every single time in my class, you should have that eagerness or the desire to learn something new. Okay, let me teach you. Okay, listen to me. Okay, after like the video also, if you're not liked, and ask everyone also to like the video, students. Ask everyone to like the video also. Okay, listen to me, all of you. This is a hand. This is my hand. My hand has a lot of fingers. Not 5 fingers. My hand has 5 fingers. I want you to visualize my entire hand as a pistil. So there is a single pistil. A pistil will have many carpels. My hand is a pistil, fingers are like carpels. So carpel is a part of pistil. Carpel you see this, right? You see this diagram, all of you. This is, I'll draw a better diagram. So diagram is good, I'll tell otherwise. Wait, I will draw a better diagram. Now I also became conscious now, suddenly. Okay, it's not very great, but adjust now. You have to adjust. Okay, this is stigma, this is style, and this is ovary. This right here, if you see in any textbook, they will mark it as carpel. Carpel. Okay, they will mark it as carpel. Okay. Now understand why. How my fingers, I have multiple fingers, right? Every single finger is a carpel. Imagine students, if I have on my hand, if I have a single finger, can I call it as monocarpellary? Can I call it as monocarpellary now? Single carpel on a pistil, monocarpellary. What if I have multiple carpels? Multicarpellary. Multicarpellary. What if all the carpels are fused? What if all the carpels are fused? That is called as syncarpous condition. Carpels are fused, syncarpous condition. What if all the carpels are free? Apocarpous condition. So these are the carpels. Here in every single textbook usually shows this diagram. They are showing you monocarpellary diagram. They are showing you monocarpellary diagram, students. Monocarpellary diagram. Every single textbook is showing you monocarpellary diagram. Understanding all of you? Some idea you're getting? So carpel is part of pistil. It is part of pistil. Nice. All of you understood. Probably some of you understood. Some of you like, oh, sir, I will tell again. You watch the video again. You'll understand. If all the carpels are few syncarpous, they are free apocarpous. Okay. Now, what are the different parts of gynoecium? Or a single carpel. This is called as stigma. This is called as style. This is called as ovary. Inside ovary there will be ovules. Ovules inside the ovary. Okay. So water drink. Yes. I will drink water. Thank you for the permission. Thank you for the permission to drink water. Nice. All of you also drink some water. All of you also quickly drink some water now. Okay. Nice. Okay. Drink some water. Okay. Now students, what is apocarpous? Free. Multiple. See, it always is multiple carpels. Students, can you see? This is one pistil has multiple carpels. Can you see? All of you see this? Can all of you see this? One pistil has multiple carpels here. Multiple carpels. Everything is free here. Everything is free here. Okay. When will I take molecular basis? When Gopika ma'am gives me permission. Okay, I need permission. No, Gopika ma'ams. Okay. So this is called as the entire carpels. Okay. Now can you see all the carpels are fused here? They are fused completely. Okay, fused completely here. So that is called as syncarpous. Classification based on arrangement of ovules. What do I mean by that? What do I mean by that, students? What do I mean by that? For example, students, this is a sigma. Students, number 4. Let's say this. Now you tell me. Tell me who is doing by diagram now. This is the stigma. This is the style. And this is the ovary. Now in this ovary, students, there will be a structure like this on the inside that is called as placenta. On top of this placenta, ovules will be arranged. Ovules will be arranged on the placenta. Okay. Ovules will be arranged on the placenta. Okay. Now listen to me very carefully, all of you. Arrangement of ovules arrangement of ovules on placenta. It is called as placentation. It is called as placentation. So arrangement of ovules, this right here is ovules. Arrangement of ovules on the placenta, it is called as here placentation. Nice, no? Nice, no? Nice. Nice. Now here multiple types are there. There is something called marginal. See, you can make butter paneer from, matar paneer we can make. Okay, this is called as a pea plant, which they use in masala puri also, masala puri. Okay, here we can see marginal placentation. This is called as your ventral suture. On this ventral suture, all the ovules are arranged in a marginal way. Okay, on a ridge. Example is P, marginal placentation. MP, marginal P is the example. This is called as parietal placentation. Okay. Now see, students, in parietal placentation, what happens? Okay. In the parietal placentation, okay, can you see all the ovules are present at the corner here? Okay, all of you can see this. At the corner, that is parietal. Can I call it as peripheral? Peripheral means outer boundary. So all the ovules are present on the outer boundary. Okay. Now students, here you need to understand here is initially it is unilocular, but later on becomes bilocular because the formation of false septum. The false septum is called as rupplum. Okay, it becomes bilocular. Now what is the trick here? Trick is parents are masters. P for parietal placentation, A for argemone, M for mustards. Parents are masters. Here. Okay. Now, what about axial placentation? In axial placentation, what happens is there is a crosswall formation. Can you see? Crosswall formation is present here. Crosswall formation. Ovules attached to the multilocular ovary. So, can you see multiple locule? 1, 2, 3. For example, if you open a lemon, if you cut a lemon, students, you can see multiple here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can see multiple here. Okay. Now here the trick is very simple. Allow China to live. That is A for axial placentation, C for China rose, T for tomato, L for lemon. Okay. Or lemon. Allow China to live. Okay. Cash is always calling that boy, no. Allow China to live. Okay. Friends, I feel Cash is becoming very famous. Okay, Cash is becoming very famous nowadays in front of all of you. Okay. Yes, Cash is a black color plant I'm growing from past 3 years. Okay. It's a black color plant who eats everything in the world. Okay. From 3 years I'm growing him nicely. Okay. Nice. Now next one is called as free central placentation. You can see this is similar to axial. It is similar to axial, but there is no crosswall formation here. No crosswall formation. Can you see here? No crosswall formation. Free central. That is, Fredo, change your DP. WhatsApp DP here. Dianthus and primrose. It is called as your free central placentation. Okay. Ovules are born on the central axis with no septa formation here. Okay. Now, last one is basal placentation. In the case of basal placentation, what happens is a single ovule developing at the base. Okay. That is, birds migrate south. B for basal placentation, M for marigold, S for sunflower. Birds migrate south. Okay. Okay. Tell me the answer to this question, students. Free central, DP, dianthus and primrose. Very easy. Free central is, change your DP. Fredo, change your DP. Dianthus and primrose. So answer is option number 1. These questions do not even require thinking. These are called as easy questions. Okay. Dianthus and primrose. Students, the answer is seen by mistake, students. Imagine you didn't see the answer, tell me the answer now. Imagine you didn't see the answer, you tell me the answer now. Axial placentation is seen in allow China to leave. China, China rose, lemon and tomato. Okay. Ignore the answer, tell me the answer now. Option number, what is the answer? Now I know for a fact some of you will deliberately tell me, sir, answer is C, no sir. Answer is 1, no sir. Some over smart. Let me answer this question. Perigynous flower is found in. Perigynous. People pluck pink roses. People pluck pink roses. Right. So roses is roses. People pluck pink roses. Okay. Placentation in tomato and lemon is. Now you tell me the answer. Placentation in tomato and lemon is 2012 question. Placentation of tomato and lemon is. What is it? Allow China to leave. Axial. Axial. Students, it has been a very long journey now. We started the class at 10:30. The time is now 1 o'clock. Okay. Are you ready for the last part of the chapter, which will hardly take 15 minutes next or 20 minutes maximum? Are you ready? That is for fruit and seed. And if you finish fruit and seed, and if you learn the examples which I have told you, the mnemonics which I have told you, this chapter is in your pocket today. It becomes a pocket friendly chapter now. It becomes a pocket friendly chapter now. Can we start? Can we start the last part? No lunch break, we'll finish it. Then you can go eat nice lunch after this. Students, let me tell you, the lunch will always taste better if you work for it. But if you simply sit around lazy in the house, don't study, do waste time, lunch will not feel tasty. Lunch will only feel tasty when you work for it. So now all of you your brain cells have worked up. All of you use that ATP and you have understood new concepts today. So lunch will be better after this. Okay. Look what I have to do to convince all of you. Some random stories I'm telling you now. Okay. So now students, this is the most easiest chapter. Again, yes, it's the most easiest chapter. Okay. All you need to do is learn few examples and you're good to go in this chapter. Okay. Now with that being said, students, can we start the last part of the chapter called as fruit and seed? Yes, can we? Can we, students? Can we start? Okay. Students, can anyone tell me, where does the fruit develop from? Does the fruit develop from ovary or ovule? Fruit is technically developing from the ovary. Ovary develops into the fruit. Okay. Ovary develop into the fruit. Now there is something called as parts of the fruit. Okay. Broadly speaking, there are two main parts of a fruit. One is called as the seed. The other one is called as pericarp. Okay. Seed and pericarp. And this pericarp here is again divided into three main parts. The first one is called as epicarp. Second one is called as mesocarp. And the third one is called as endocarp. Okay. Epicarp, mesocarp and endocarp. Okay. Three main parts of pericarp. Seed is the other one. Okay. Okay. Now, there is something called as three types of fruits. True fruits will develop from the ovary. False fruit will develop from the ovary plus other part of the flower. It could be thalamus. Example is apple. Parthenocarpic fruit, fruit develop from without fertilization. That is called as parthenocarpic fruit. Okay, without fertilization is developing. Okay. Okay. Now, there are three more types of fruit. Something called as simple fruit, aggregate of fruits, and composite fruits. Now, students, are you ready today to learn something new? One more. See, my class, you will always learn something new. Are you ready to learn something new again? Okay, because simple fruit is given you syllabus. Very simple, given you syllabus. Simple fruit will develop from a single flower. Single flower. It can have single carpel or multiple carpel. Single carpel can be divided into dry fruit and fleshy fruit. Dry fruit difference is what? Here in fleshy fruit we have epicarp, mesocarp, endocarp. Difference is there. In dry fruit, no differentiation. And this dry fruit is not kaju badam and all. Not kaju almond and all. Okay. Dry fruit is different. In multicarpellary condition, syncarpus we have simple fruit we have. Okay, simple fruit we have. But students, understand the aggregate of fruits. Today you will understand something new. In aggregate of fruit, single flower, multicarpellary condition is there. How many of you seen strawberry, students? How many of you seen strawberry, raspberry and blueberry? What if I tell you, here in this entire fruit, this is actually an aggregate of fruit. And do you see this round, do you see this here? Round, small. This round thing here, round, each one. Each one is a fruitlet or a fruit. Each one is developing from a ovary or from a single carpel. Each one of them, can you see this? Each one of them is a fruit here. Each one is a fruit. This is entire thing is called as a aggregate of fruit. Each one is a fruitlet and it is developing from a single carpel. Okay. Now see this. How many of you know what is pineapple? Pineapple, you might have seen pineapple. On pineapple, do you see this? Each segment here on a pineapple, each one is developing from a flower. So one flower, second flower, third, fourth, 5, 6. Whenever there is an inflorescence, in an inflorescence, each flower is becoming a fruit. That is called as composite fruit. Composite example is pineapple. You might have seen even jackfruit also. In the case of jackfruit, each fruit inside a jackfruit is actually developing from a one single flower. That is called as a composite fruit. So each fruit is a type of flower which is converted. Okay, nice. This is called as composite fruit, developing from inflorescence. Okay. In your NCERT we have only a fleshy fruit. That is drupe and berry. Don't worry. Okay. What is drupe? Developing from monocarpellary, berry multicarpellary. Tomato example, tomato. Okay. Superior ovary, it can be superior or inferior. Stony endocarp, soft endocarp. You might have seen in your tomato. You can eat the endocarp very easily. Tomato is a fruit, not a vegetable. Tomato is a fruit. Cucumber is a fruit. Lady's finger is a fruit. All these are fruits, right? So soft endocarp. Here mesocarp can be edible or fibrous. It is edible in the case of mango, or it is fibrous in the case of coconut. Main difference which you need to remember: mesocarp is edible in mango, fibrous in coconut. Stony endocarp, you might have seen, you cannot eat the endocarp of your mango. It is very hard. Endocarp is very hard. Okay. Now, look at this question. Morphological nature of edible part of coconut is. In coconut, what do you eat actually? The liquid part or the solid part? We actually eat the endosperm. We eat the endosperm. Okay. Endosperm. Aggregate of fruit is one which develops from, students. What is developed from? Aggregate of fruit develops from, students. Multicarpellary, apocarpus. This is a NEET 2014 question which can be repeated again. Okay. last topic. That is seed. Last topic is a seed topic. What is seed, students? What is seed? Seed is a structure which is developing from the ovule. Developed from the ovule directly. It is developed from the ovule. That is a seed. That is a seed. Okay. Now, a seed will have something called a seed coat. It will have a seed coat. And a seed coat actually has two parts. It has a outer part and inner part. That is, testa is the outer part and tegmen is the inner part. Testa and tegmen, seed coat. Okay. And then there is the embryo here. Can you see? Embryo is also present here. And there is cotyledon here. Now, some of you do not know what is the cotyledon. Let me tell you. Cotyledon is actually the storage unit here. Okay. See. Also called as seed leaves, stores food for the growing embryo. Monocot, dicot, single cotyledon, two cotyledon. Okay. Now, what is endosperm then? Endosperm is the result of triple fusion in your double fertilization, triple fusion, and endosperm also provides nutrition. Endosperm also provides nutrition. Now you will ask me, sir, endosperm also nutrition, cotyledon also nutrition. Very simple difference is there. Understand. For example, we have zygote here. Zygote will develop into embryo. Embryo will develop into the plant. In this journey, zygote to the embryo, nutrition is given by the endosperm generally. Embryo to the plant, nutrition is given by the cotyledon. So both of them have a very crucial role. Endosperm, cotyledon. The location might be different when they are helping out. Okay, zygote to embryo is endosperm. Embryo to plant is going to be cotyledon. Small difference. Okay. Now, what is endospermic seed, non-endospermic seed? Endospermic seed is also called as albuminous seeds. What is albuminous? In endospermic seed, endosperm is present. Endosperm is present here. What is non-endospermic seed? Endosperm is absent here. Endosperm is completely absent here. Okay. Simple difference. Okay. Monocot, dicot. All of you know. Single cotyledon, two cotyledons. See, seed leaf. This is a typical structure of dicot leaf. Can you see? Hilum is a scar here. Can you see, all of you? Micropyle is the small opening here. Hilum is a structure here which helps in attachment to the fruit. Okay. Seed attachment to the fruit. Then there is seed coat here, testa and tegmen. This is the embryonal axis here. Two cotyledons. Radicle will develop into root. Plumule will develop into shoot. Eventually. Develop into shoot. Okay, develop into shoot. Dicots I told you, seed coat. Hilum here. Site of attachment of seed to the ovary wall or the fruit. Actually, ovary wall is part of fruit only, right? Micropyle pore which water enters the seed. Seed coat. Now, non-endospermic seed. See, there bean, gram seed and pea. All of these are non-endospermic. So students, if this is non-endospermic, do you think there will be endosperm here? Is endosperm present or absent here? Tell me in the chat. Do you think endosperm is going to be present or absent in the case of non-endospermic seed? It is going to be absent here. Endosperm is going to be absent. Now, but, are there any exceptions in dicot? Are there any exceptions in dicot where we can find endosperm? Anyone? Usually dicots, endosperm is complete. Here is endosperm is absent here. Generally, it is absent here. In the case of dicots, generally endosperm is absent. But is there any exception to this rule? Yes, it is. Castor seeds. They are dicots. They are dicots, but endosperm is present. So remember this exception. All of you remember this exception about your dicot seeds. Now, what about in the case of monocot seed? In the case of monocot seeds, the first difference we'll notice that the seed coat is actually fused with the ovary wall. Ovary wall and seed coat are completely fused here. Fruit wall or the ovary wall. Endosperm is bulky and stores food. So we can find endosperm here. Endosperm is very evidently present here. Okay. Now see here, all of you. NCR diagram you see. Seed coat and fruit wall, can you see? They are fused completely. They are fused together every time. Now here there is a protein layer. Protein layer called as aileron layer. Aileron layer will separate endosperm from the embryo, from the entire scutellum or the embryo or the entire embryonal axis. Two separation has been done. Okay, this is scutellum is the cotyledon here. Scutellum is the single cotyledon. It's called as scutellum here. Okay, scutellum. Okay. Now students, here we have the embryonal axis. Can all of you see here? There is the radicle and plumule. Radicle is protected by coleorhiza. R is present here. Radicle. Plumule is protected by the coleoptile. P is present here. That's how you can remember it. Coleoptile, P is there. Coleorhiza, R is there. Coleorhiza. So you can easily remember the protecting the what is protecting what. Okay, that is what is given here. Cotyledon, aileron layer, outermost protective layer separates embryo from the endosperm. Coleoptile, coleorhiza. Mostly they are endospermic. Now, is there any exception, students? Is there any exception in monocots where endosperm is absent? Orchid cysts, it's a monocot but non-endospermic in nature. Okay. Here's a quick difference between monocot and dicot. Seed coat is distinct from fruit wall. Seed coat completely fused with the pericarp. Two cotyledons, single cotyledon, called as scutellum here, scutellum. Endosperm is absent except your castor. Endosperm is present except orchid. There is no protective sheath for radicle and plumule. There is coleoptile and coleorhiza here. Question on the board. Cotyledon of maize grain is called as. Maize grain is monocot. Cotyledon is called as scutellum. It's called as scutellum. Okay, called as scutellum. Hilum is a scar on. The seed where funicle is attached. Or where we can find the ovary wall. Not micropylar was present. Okay. Which of the following statement is correct? Seeds in grass is not endospermic. Mango is parthenocarpic fruit. No. A protein layer is present in maize grain. Yes. Present in maize grain. Aileron layer. It is called aileron layer, which separates endosperm from the embryo. This right here is a homework question for all of you. I want everyone to sit back after the lecture is over, read the question properly and tell me answer in the comment section without fail. And when you are in the comment section, download the notes which will be available in the comment section. In comment section, we will make a link where you will get the notes. Notes can also be available in Telegram channel. And also, when you are there in comment section, also let me know in the chat, students, how was the today's lecture. Okay, so also let me know in the comment section today how was the entire lecture of Morphology of Flowering Plants, one shot concept plus question. Okay, so thank you so much, students. I thoroughly enjoyed today. Okay, hopefully all of you also enjoyed. So thank you so much for attending all this while, patiently sitting in my class for such a long time, and being attentive in the class. It takes a lot of dedication, takes a lot of energy, takes a lot of perseverance. So I believe all of you have that. So all the best. Okay. So keep studying hard, do not waste time, and I will see you in the next class. So bye bye students, bye bye all of you.